What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another maxed out crypto video. Today we're just going over some market watch to see what's going on in the markets. And yeah, let's just get into it. So let's start off with talking about if this could be the bottom of Bitcoin right here, at least the bottom of this run. So we had the illustrious confirmed green dot on the monthly, and as you can see, every time we've had a confirmed green dot on the monthly, we have had quite the run up. Here we had two of them and we had a huge run up, so boom boom. Now does that mean we're just gonna go straight up from here? Maybe not necessarily, because if you look, each of these confirmed green dots, we had a pullback. So let's see, confirmed here, we had 26% pullback. Let's see, this one confirmed here. No, let's see, here. And we immediately had a pullback of about 30%. This one we didn't have a pullback. So we could still be in for a pullback of 30% after that candle, which would put us at like 16.5, which is not lower than this low. So this 15, what is that? Let's magnetize this baby and get a little ray going. Get the exact number. 15,479. So I believe we won't go lower than that. I feel pretty confident, but let's take a look at a couple things here before we jump on that. So let's see. So this one was confirmed May 1st, 2019. Okay, just writing that down. So we're going to check other indicators to check that out. And then here, this one was confirmed April or August 1st, 2015. So let's go look at these other things and see if we got some similarities to what's going on now and today. Alright, so first let's look at SPY first. Alright, so first one was May 1st, 2019. May 1st, 2019. Why are we not getting in here? July, June, May. So we were kind of, we were in a pullback in the S&P. How big of one? Let's take a look. Oh, let's turn that magnet off. There we go. That's a little annoying. Alright, so for the month of May, we had a 6% pullback. This kind of a pullback and then pumped. So it was after sort of similar, because we had like, you know, we had this dip, and then we were coming up, and here we are coming up. So similar-ish, you know, not super similar. And then what was the other one? August 1st, 2015, and that would be here. Alright, yeah, here. Here's a little different. Just August just wasn't a great month. Ooh, that's not a really good month for the stock market. Look at that, 10% crash. And then we had more downside to continue. But, I mean, similar here. This one was worse. We even experienced a worse crash than then. So, I mean, we had downside before, here, and here. So decently similar. Let's take a look at the dollar. That could be another one. Alright, so we are looking at May 1st, 2019. Excuse me, May 1st, 2019. That's this candle. I mean, here we're just having a huge pullback. Here we did have a couple weeks of downside and then up. So can't really draw much similarities. Definitely not on Market Cipher. And August 1st, 2015. This is a little more similar. Not as much. I mean, we were having a huge pullback, but we had came to a top, and we just kind of went sideways and down. So not much similarities to the dollar. Let's do VIX. Check out the VIX during these dates. All right, so first one, May 19. Oh, we had a big pop. Big pop on VIX for that month when we hit that bottom back in 2019. We're not really getting a pop. We're just continuing to go down more. Let's check August 1st, 2015. Here we go. We had a huge pop. Look at that. Bam. So, unless this candle turns and we get a huge pop, there's really no similarity on the VIX. So, the SPY has some similarities with some pullbacks. And then upside. Pullbacks, upside, pullbacks, upside. But other than that, the other ones didn't really show that strong. Let's look at the dominance, see how dominance was during these times. So, we go May 1st, 2019. Dominance was right. Ooh, this is similar. Look, right at the EMA. Our 21 EMA, that's what this purple line is. Very similar here. We did have a green dot. We already had a green dot here. And let's go back to August 1st, 2015. That's early in the dominance when it wasn't even really recorded. So we can't really pull much from that. So dominance looks a little similar. So I still believe this could be our bottom, for sure. We got this green dot that has yet to do us wrong. Yet to do us wrong. Alright, so now let's get into what we're thinking for the week ahead. So once again, another solid week. We kind of had, it's kind of been a fake out week this week. Last week was another 6% week. We are slowing into this resistance, as you can see. Look, full body, smaller, smaller, and then we get this kind of, I think this is a hangman candle. Don't quote me on that. Sorry, candle people that know your candles. I think that's what that is. Hangman, hammer, one of those. So, we got to fight through this. We got through this high pretty smooth, so we'll see how we get through. I think if you've missed all this run, a good place might be to wait till we pull back into these areas to maybe rebuy. Since we did have that monthly close, you know, wait for us to come back in here and rebuy. We haven't really had a good retest of this level. Looks like we retested this level a little bit here. So let's zoom in a little bit. Alright, so our 3-day is topping a bit, and as you can see, the last few times we've had this green dot, or this red dot, we have come down significantly. This time's a little different because we are in the green money flow and we're above the 60 line. And usually when we get above the 60 line, we usually have more rallies to come. Here, no, we just kind of came down. Here we continued up for quite some time. You know, all of these were, yes, we had pullbacks, but we continued on for quite some time. Here especially, you know, way above the 60 line, it continues. Way above the 60 continues. This one was the top here, but we had already had a huge flush of money flow and our RSIs had turned. Here our RSIs, this is similar to what we're in, for sure, right now. We've had what? Let's take a look at it. A 60% push, and then a dot, you know, above the 60 line. So let's take a look. I don't think we've had quite that much of a push, 60%. Yeah, 54. So, but what was the money flow? The money flow was red. It was coming up, but it got knocked down. This was COVID, if everyone remembers, so for all we know, if we didn't have COVID, this would have just kind of continued, like, and then we would have gone up, and we wouldn't have had anything below here. So, but that, I mean, COVID happened, you can't ignore that. So, maybe we have this pullback you know, into these EMAs, that weekly EMA we saw on the weekly and this 3-day EMA. That could be it. I mean, we can't go straight up. We gotta have at least a pullback. Even on all these runs, look, we at least consolidated, pullback, consolidated. So we at least need a little pullback. We're up in this level. You know, we're not just gonna bust through. So I believe we're at least gonna hang out here, if not pull back. Oh shoot, we just jumped around there. Alright, now let's go down to the daily. Daily, the money flow is getting big. It just continues to go up. Here we have a little bit, you know, our dip is a little smaller here, but if this continues up and takes out this high right here, then yeah, we could easily continue to push up in here for sure. Let's go to, when was the money flow this high on the daily last? Yeah, I like that. Even here it was up here, and that wasn't really the top out. So I could see this. We just kind of float around in here for a while, and then we get another push. I could see that. We were up here. I mean, this is all looking good for more pushes up. Might not be immediate, but in the future for sure. So I would still favor the longs for sure. Definitely favor the. Let's jump down. Let's go 12 hour. 12 hour is starting to curve. We've been diverging for some time, but we can easily continue down with the money flow and continue to diverge. Oh, that wasn't. We can continue to diverge, you know, and still like pump. And then that last divergence is really the final one when the money flow is like down. This is too high for me to really start thinking about shorting. Doesn't mean there won't be pullbacks. Let's go 8 hour. 8 hour is showing a little more consolidation, but we could always just come here, come back up. But this shows, I mean, if we weren't so strong in the money on the daily and so tight, look at those RSIs, look great on the 2-day. I would say this would be starting to look like a short, but let's let this play out. You know, you don't try to front run the 8 hour, you know. You let the 8 hour, even, you know, even here and here, we still pulled back a little, but then continued. So let's let this play out. This does have nice curvature. So 8 hour does look shorty. Looks like it could be being shorted. But then here we go, 4 hours given a different clue. So we got this, and then yeah, we started to come down and price continued to push, right? See, this was I talking about the diverging. You know, here we started to diverge more, but we just continued to push up even though we were diverging. And those strong run-ups, those divergences just aren't as strong. Here was a great divergence. We did have a pullback, wasn't very strong, continued up. This looks to me like we're gonna, you know, do this, and then this is gonna be the start. I mean, look at this, it's just tight. Momentum can't get down. It can't get down here. So to me, this looks like we're gonna have another push up, right? Gapped RSI's down, now they're back together, and maybe they'll hang out here again, and we'll continue to get, you know, a good push in this zone. Or we'll at least kind of like, you know, float in here, maybe have a similar pattern to this, only kind of in this range. All right, let's check out the other indices, see what's happening. What's that? Is it control? Yeah, control. Okay. Dominance. Let's jump up to the weekly. So dominance has continued to push 3 weeks in a row. This week we're starting to get pulled back a little. But I mean, look at this. This is a nice start. These RSIs are tight. We are getting a little bit of, I wouldn't say clippage, but slowdown. We are getting a divergence on the VWAP. but money flow is looking good. The VWAP's kind of the only thing pulling down. Momentum's still strong. RSI is still strong. I still think we could pull into this zone, you know? I think we could. This has just kind of been a, you know, whatever box, you know, up, down, and then it wouldn't surprise me if we get back up. So let's go, let's drop down 3-day. 3-day similar to the markets or Bitcoin. We're getting a red dot above the 60 line with gapped RSIs. That doesn't mean a whole bunch. You know, our last comparison maybe was in here, which looks pretty similar. And you know, we did pull back in dominance. The alts caught up, and then we pushed some more. You know, this would be great if this was the start of this, right? So we get Bitcoin leading, and then Bitcoin consolidates, right? And the altcoins catch up, and then Bitcoin pushes again, and then it consolidates, the altcoins catch up, and then the altcoins really go on fire. And we have, you know, this whole area was alt season, right? So we could have that. We could have a push up in here, and then that's the final push to where maybe we have another alt season. We drop to the lowest Bitcoin's ever been, 30% maybe, something like that. 30% of market cap. Let's go down a lower time frame. Daily money flow is looking good. RSI is looking good. We are diverging, but I think we talked about how we can continue to diverge and still push to the upside. Okay, let's go one more time down. 12 hour. Yeah, see, 12 hours doing the we were talking about. Look, you know, baby turtle, mama turtle, and depending on this, we could get another one, right? And we push up more, or we could get a big one, and then we get a little guy, and this still pushes up higher. That'd be the sign that dominance is slowing down. Okay, now let's go Dow Jones. Dow Jones doesn't look quite as good as Bitcoin. Let's start with the weekly. This looks pretty good. We got momentum that can't clip. Money flow starting to try to come back up. YDMA pushing up. This could be good. RSI is pretty together. Yeah, Dow Jones on the weekly looks good. That's good for Bitcoin. Just drop to that 3-day. 3-day looks good. We're getting money flow down and then some decent curvature and back up. Money flow does like to do this. A little up, fake out, and then again up. RSIs look good. Still haven't turned red. I like it. Dow Jones looking good on the 3-day. It's good for Bitcoin. Daily looking not quite as good. Ideally, we want this to come up, right? We don't want a lower low. That would suggest we're going to see some downside. This looks good. Vertical. We are diverging, but this could just, you know, continue up. Be no worries. Yeah, so I'd love to see it take out these highs. We're kind of flirting at this one right now that we haven't been able to get through. Well, let's see, how many times have we touched? I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. Rule of fours. This could be, we could finally push through to some highs. All right, let's look at SPY. So Dow Jones is backing up our Bitcoin play. SPY on the weekly looks phenomenal. We're still pretty thick in money flow, and we're getting divergence with kind of a trigger wave, kind of more of an uneven butt cheek trigger wave, but still nonetheless trigger wave. We go a divergence with a higher low, looking good. Looking good. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is a gap. This box, we can jump down to a lower time frame. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go and see it's this gap from up here. If we don't at least attempt to fill this gap, you know, I would not be surprised at all. 3-day still looking strong. 3-day on most of these charts look great. Nice, flat, strong momentum. Same thing as the Dow. We diverged and then had a trigger wave. Alright, hold on. Get rid of this stuff. Okay. So yeah, looking good. That money flow is just having a nice strong move straight. Let's go drop down to the daily. Daily's looking good, still making higher highs on the money flow, and we got a little green dot. RSI's hopefully come up here and chill. These are all great arguments for Bitcoin. So I think we got upside this week to continue. Let's look at the dollar. Dollar's flirting to lose this box. We have just been making lower lows. Let's go weekly first. I mean, we gotta need this other RSI to come down and meet this one for it to really bottom. So we could continue. I mean, I don't know how much the dollar respects TA, but I mean, that's where I would guess. If we lose this box, I would guess, you know, that line's pretty well up with this in here. That would where I guess we come next. And then maybe we get a little rebound. But right now the dollar is just plunging. It won't plunge straight down. It will have some rallies, but it's plunging. That's good for Bitcoin, good for the market. We are bottoming on the 3-day, but we did already have this. Oh, and as we speak, it's starting to print a red dot. So we could have the classic green dot, red dot, which usually means, you know, just consolidation and more down, more, you know. So this is all good arguments toward Bitcoin. We've had lots of red X's. We continue to just can't even get momentum up to 0. RSI is just flat and low. That's all good. All good. And then the VIX. VIX just keeps surprising. I thought we'd have some bounce in the VIX. Looks like we filled this gap. Yeah, big time filled that gap. Oh. Look, we're just making lower lows on the VIX. Oh, that money flow. What's the weekly look like? Ah, strong first move. I mean, last time we were here, we still had more lows. More lows in VIX means, you know, more highs in Bitcoin, for sure. So VIX looking good towards the argument that we got upside. This looks very similar to the weekly, not much difference. RSI is getting low. We are due for something. But I've been saying that, right? I've been saying that here. I think I said that last week here. So VIX is just plunging. We got an X on the VIX. Last time we did have 2 X's like this, this was kind of the bottom. So maybe we just chill here for a little bit. And then this curves up. So yeah, more downside on the VIX. So I would say Bitcoin looking hot. Looking real hot. You know, we're just cruising along. We will definitely have, at this 25 level, we will definitely have at least a little pullback. You know, because I'm sure there is tons of shorts just waiting to get liquidated right here. So yeah. So alright. I think that will do it. The main theme for this week video is this monthly green dot. I want to talk about this again before we leave you. This has confirmed the bottom every time. So don't throw everything at it, but I would say don't be afraid to invest a good chunk of what you got. I did for sure. Right there, confirmed, right? So after every one of these green dots, we had 1,000% gain there, and we had a 5,000% gain there. So minimum 1,000. Yeah, but just be prepared. We could have a pullback. That was a pullback of 28-ish, and then we had the COVID pullback of, oh well, it wasn't 50 because where was the confirmation candle? It was like here. So yeah, 20. So be prepared for a pullback. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but it could. All right. So that is it for today's video. You guys have a good night, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.